This is gonna sound a little weird, but I love to plant tons of potatoes right inside my flower bed. Not in fancy rows, not in my raised beds, not in a potato tower. Just hidden among all the flowers right outside my vegetable garden. In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can hide tons of potatoes in your front yard, side yard, backyard flower gardens so that you get loads of potatoes and your flowers actually produce more blooms too. So just to clear the air, I have no professional gardening training. I'm not a master gardener and I don't have a degree in horticulture. I'm a self-taught gardener who's gardening in the margins of my day. I'm also a mom of 4 and a business owner. So I figured out some really weird hacks that absolutely work for me in the garden to make the most of my time, my space, and give me the most productive, beautiful garden possible. This is one of them. By the way, I wrote a whole book about how plants grow called Leaves, Roots, and Fruit. Potatoes, they're right in the middle there in the root category, so check this out if you want more detailed information. I'll put a link in the caption. Now, potatoes are tubers, so not technically roots, and they grow underground. They're so cool. They're in the tomato plant family, Solanaceae, and you can see here they've got these little eyes on them. So you can split them up, 1 potato to plant per eye. This one's got 1, this one's got like 3. I tend to put the whole potato in the ground because it's easier. And as soon as you plant it, this little thing is going to become a shoot. It's going to grow leaves above ground, but the magic happens underground. From this little tuber, these stems grow and each stem produces another potato. So from 1 potato, you might end up with 5, 6, even 10 more tubers just from sticking this thing into the ground. It's crazy. So you want to plant these right before your last frost. If you're a little late doing so, no worries. And if you're in a warmer climate, you can actually plant these twice a year, in the spring and again in the fall. Now, potatoes are easy to plant, but they're not necessarily easy to grow. And this is why I hate putting them inside of a raised bed. First of all, almost all the growth is happening underground. They need lots of space to spread out underneath the plant. They're also going to create a pretty bushy plant that will shade out all the other plants that need the sunlight, which is what I like to focus on inside my raised bed. Besides that, potatoes are heavy feeders, so they're going to take a lot of nutrients from the soil, and they're prone to pests. They get potato beetles, aphids, all kinds of issues that you really don't want to mess with your other more fragile plants in the raised bed. But out here in the flower bed, totally different story. So here's why potatoes are a great companion plant to your flower bed. Most of the flowers growing in ground around your vegetable garden, they have a really shallow root space. So they're the perfect pairing for a potato. You've got your flower sitting right on top of the soil, and then your potato can dig down deep, getting all the nutrients and space that it needs. Next, these potatoes actually provide some structure and some form to a bed that can look somewhat empty for part of the year. In the early part of the growing season, when your flowers are just getting started, potatoes are going to provide little bushes right among the rest of your flowering plants. It's going to give some structure, some greenery, and honestly, most people will never even know that it's a potato growing right among your flowers. Finally, if you plant it among the right flowers in your flower bed, the flowers will actually help with the ecosystem and protect your potatoes from all those pests. Marigolds will repel nematodes and aphids. You've got calendula and nasturtium, which can act as trap crops. And then all those pollinator-friendly flowers, they're going to bring in beneficial insects to fight off the bad guys. In other words, flowers and potatoes, they're like best friends. And the relationship doesn't just go one way. A lot of pests that would otherwise be attracted to your flowers will be munching on your potato leaves instead. It's a perfect balance and a great ecosystem. There's just 6 steps to put your potatoes right among your flowers in your flower bed this season. First up, you want to be sure you've got some certified seed potatoes. You can order these online or find them at a local farmer's market or a local garden center. Step 2 is you want to chit your potatoes. Set these out to have exposure to the air and to start letting the eyes start to sprout a little bit. Step number 3 is to find a spot in your flower bed that's about 1 foot wide. There you're going to dig a hole that's 4 to 6 inches deep. Step number 4 is you're going to add a little bit of compost and earthworm castings into that hole and any other amendments you need to balance out your soil and get it ready for your potatoes. If you need some more resources on making great organic soil, I'll put that right below this video. Step number 5, you're going to take your potato and put it eyes pointing up right inside that hole. And then step number 6, cover that up with some compost and put a plant tag marker on it, because trust me on this one, you're gonna lose where you put that potato and end up planting another flower on top of it. As the greenery starts to grow 4 to 6 inches tall, you're gonna come and push compost around the bottom of that plant. That's gonna give you lots more tubers and extra support for your plants, something that's harder to do if it's in a raised bed. Potatoes really don't need any special place to grow. When you hide your potatoes right among your flowers, you get double the harvest and way less stress. It's weird, but it works.